Hey y'all, hope everyone is doing well. Today we're going to scrap this air compressor. The motor is burned out. I wouldn't even resell used compressors anyways. Look up exploding air compressors on YouTube and you'll find out why. The first thing I want to do is to drain the oil. This thing weighs 55 pounds and a shred that is $4.26. Surely we can make more money out of this by scrapping it. So stick around to find out. I went ahead and put the drain plug back in because there is a bolt underneath. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this cover off to get this oil out faster. And this is going to be cast aluminum. I will clean up all this oil out of there. Okay, so while that is draining, I'm going to go ahead and just remove some of this stuff out here, starting with the power cord. Go ahead and clip that end off. And there is the power cord. And next I'm going to go ahead and loosen this up. This is a nice copper tube. And now that that is loose, I'm going to go ahead and remove the bolts from the head to remove this. Then I'll just give it a tap underneath. That breaks that free. So there's nothing magnetic below there. I do need to remove this piece of brass and then remove this, and then this will be a clean piece of cast aluminum. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and remove this. I will save this because this is still good. It could be used on another air compressor. So there's that. That's going to be kept, so we're not going to include that into the total at the end. The next thing I want to do is to remove this. That's a pressure gauge. I will keep that. Okay, so now I'm just going to get rid of the rest of this stuff, and then we'll go after the motor. It's just garbage. And now we've got a nice piece of copper tubing. We've got to remove the brass from both ends, and then that brass knurling. We'll do that in a little bit. We'll process that in a little bit. We got a little bit of brass below here. Got another brass fitting here to remove. And there's a nice brass fitting there. I want to get that piece of brass removed now. And there it is. Have to remove this piece off of there because that's steel. And now I want to remove the petcock. So there's going to be one on this tank and then on this tank. Now we got that removed. This piece right here is steel, so we'll have to remove that. So here's the other one, and while it's in there, just peel that piece of steel off, and then now we can take this piece of brass out. I should have done that with the other one. And now we have a clean piece of brass. And while I'm under here, there's a bolt here and here holding this plastic shroud on, so I might as well go after them right now. Okay, now we just need to get these four. Okay, so now that those are out, we can remove the motor from the tank. And there it is. And the rest of that is just steel. And now I can get to those two bolts and finally remove this shroud. And there is our motor. Okay, so now I want to get this fan off of here, but you can see this is really rusty. So yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to come off. We might just have to break it with a hammer. But I got it in the vise, and I'm going to take my pry bar and see if I can just pop it off. Well, it broke, which is fine. There's a little bit of aluminum left behind, but no big deal. That's probably not even a ½ ounce. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and clean up all these wires, get this capacitor off of there. There's that. That just goes into the shred. Now we have a bolt here and a bolt here. Go ahead and remove that. Okay, now that those are removed, well, that was brittle. It's working itself around and there it is. You always want to check in here. Sometimes there's a steel sleeve, but not in this, so this is a nice clean piece of cast. And there are our windings. Let's check it with a file to see if it's copper. Copper! Yeah! Woohoo! Man, I love it. So now we're just going to pound on this shaft and it should break free the other side. And there is our beautiful motor. I went ahead and I unbolted the head, and you can just pull that off. And now that I will put into cast iron. And now to remove the piston, you just turn it until that's above there, and then it gives you some clearance. And you can just then pull it out. Now that's as far as I'm going to take it. I'm just going to throw that into the dirty aluminum. So to get this clean, you have to pull off these compression rings here, or they break. And then there is like a retaining clip in here. So you can just pull that out. Same on the other side. And then now we will drive these bushings down, and then we can get some clean aluminum. So I got that in a vise. Just pound that out. Clean piece of aluminum. And now this is clean. Now since we're here, let's get this cleaned up. We got to remove that piece of brass and that. And there we are. Now this one is going to be interesting because there is not a lot of space between the head and this piece, which I think this is some sort of like moisture filter, I believe. Oh, it was just tan tight. There we go. Now that's a clean piece of cast aluminum. And this is just garbage. Now I want to get this piece of copper tubing cleaned up. I'll just pull that out. Now we need to remove this brass knurling, I believe is what it's called. Clean piece of copper. Woohoo! So I've got this in the vise with it squeezed above, and then I'm going to rest my hacksaw on the edge here just to help to get it started. Now that it's cut through, I just kind of give it a twist to spread it apart, and then you can just slide it right off. And there is our piece of brass and a clean piece of copper. Now we just need to remove that piece of steel from the petcock. And there it is. A clean piece of brass. Okay, now we need to get this processed. Garbage. And that's what it looks like inside. There's going to be some contacts below there, so we just need to continue to process this. I just noticed I didn't press record. All I did was I just unscrewed these to remove the insulated wire. Now I'm going to remove this block. It looks like we got a tiny little piece of copper right here. So go ahead and pull that off. Go ahead and remove these. This is going to be cast. The nut's going to be steel, but that's cast. I'm going to go ahead and remove this piece of brass. And you can see some good copper goodness below here. And then now they should just pound down. And they are. See if we can just... You know, the thing to do is actually probably just to crunch this. This is a bake-like material, and as you can see, it's fairly brittle. These pieces are steel. There is a contact right there. We have a contact right here on this piece of copper. So go ahead and remove that. And another one. Now it is time for the motor. Now since this is cast, we don't have to cut this with an angle grinder. We're going to crack this case and open it up. All you'll need is a cold chisel, your favorite hammer, and there it is. Clean piece of cast. And here is our motor. Now, if you like to do what I do, using machete, there are these steel bands around here. We'll need to remove those before we cut this in half. So you just bend that up. Then you can get a hold of it with your side cutters. And then just peel that steel band off. Now that won't get in the way of the machete. And there is our stator, magnet, cut in half. All right, y'all, I got the numbers crunched, but before I do that, I just want to say a huge thank you to Scorpion Metals for making these channel rounds for me. They're made out of brass, scrap it all on one side, and Machete Man on the other side. He has a short 2-minute video of these being made. I'll link that in the description. And he makes all sorts of stuff, and these are aluminum, and they're business cards, and you can get anything laser etched that you want, and that's what he has on that side. You can have them made this way, any way you want. But yeah, y'all should check out Scorpion Metals, and a huge thank you to That's Right Recycling for reminding Scorpion about these. Scorpion's a busy guy with a full-time job and everything else he's got going on. These are pretty cool. Thank you guys, I really appreciate it. I'll link their channels in the description. Let's go over some numbers. This was way better than I was expecting. So we'll start with the shred. There's just 2 pounds of shred here, and that's 15 cents. We have this piece of cast iron. That's 3 pounds for 30 cents. And then we have the number 1 prepared steel. This 31 pounds for all of this. That's $3.61. And we have dirty aluminum. This is 7 pounds, 6 ounces for $1.20. And now we have 4 pounds of clean cast aluminum for $1.76. And we have 75 cents in insulated copper wire. And we have a $1.26 in brass, 9.75 ounces. And now for the good stuff, the copper. We have 3 pounds, 4.35 ounces of copper. And that comes out to $10.80. That is awesome. Like, really awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. And that gives us a grand total of $19.83. That is awesome. I am so excited. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really, really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. It does help this video just get spread. If you're new here, I'd ask that you consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And to all of my subscribers, thank you so very, very much. I appreciate you, and I could not do this without your support. God, thank you for a wonderful day. Oh, I just praise your great name, God. Lord, thank you for this beautiful weather. Lord, thank you for springtime. I love springtime so much, God. I just feel like everything is coming back to life. I can feel it inside of me and all around me. And I just praise you, God. I just thank you so, so very much. Lord, I lift up E-Waste Mike to you, God, and I pray, God, that you will continue to heal his neck, just to remove whatever infection or whatever's going on in there, that you will remove it now. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. All right, y'all. I'll see you in the next video.